OP is demanding in-laws replace doll ruined by unremorseful 6-year-old niece. This past Christmas, my mother got my daughter, Amy, 4F a doll she'd been asking for. It's a baby version of Mirabelle from the Disney movie Encanto. It quickly became her favorite. My husband's cousin, Nat, has a daughter I'll call Julie 6F. I wouldn't classify her as spoiled, but she does have a tendency to disobey other people. There have been numerous occasions in which I asked Julie to do something, please sit down, please don't touch that, etc. And she either ignored me or went behind my back to do the opposite. While I understand that she's a child, Nat rarely makes any attempt to educate her daughter or correct her behavior. Last week, Nat and Julie came to visit us with some other relatives. Julie saw the Mirabelle doll and asked my daughter if she could play with her. Amy refused. Julie protested, but I spoke with the girls and managed to get them to play with other toys. Some time later, the kids sat down to watch TV, while me and the others got dinner ready. When we went back to the living room, Julie was gone. After a short search, we found her in my bathroom. She had taken not only the Mirabelle doll, but also my nail polish carrying case. Julie had used my nail polish to paint the doll's hair, face, and dress. It covered most of her facial painting, matted her hair, and ruined her clothes. Amy saw what happened and was devastated. When we asked Julie what she was doing, she said she was giving the doll a makeover. Nat and Julie left in a hurry. The next day, I asked Nat what she planned to do about it. She suggested that the girls apologize to each other, Julie for painting the doll, Amy for not sharing it in the first place, and hug it out. And she offered to give me a couple new bottles of nail polish. I made it clear that Amy didn't need to apologize. And while I didn't care about the nail polish, they cost $4, and Julie didn't empty the bottles she used. I did expect Nat and her husband to replace the doll. Nat refused. She said that it wouldn't be fair for her to waste money over an innocent mistake a child had made. She also doesn't think Julie should be the only one apologizing, as none of this would have happened if Amy had agreed to share in the first place. I asked her twice, and she said no both times. Finally, I called her husband and explained the situation. He apologized profusely and agreed to buy Amy a new doll. He stopped by on Saturday and gave it to us. He also brought Julie along and made her apologize to Amy. Apparently, Nat and her husband fought over this, as she kept insisting that Julie was just a child, and they owed us nothing. So now, in addition to saying it was entitled of me to expect a new doll, she is blaming me for their fight. My husband is on my side, but my mill thinks I should apologize, as this has blown out of proportion, and I could have dealt with it more gracefully. She also thinks it was wrong of Amy to refuse to share. AITA, relevant comments. Did Julie do it out of spite? I do think this was more of a not knowing how nail polish works situation than her trying to ruin the doll out of spite. Julie has been interested in makeovers for a while. She also asked us if we couldn't wash it off. On Amy sharing. Amy usually shares everything. Earlier this month, my older son accidentally broke one of his toys, and Amy got very protective of her own. She had a playdate with another cousin weeks ago, and refused to share any toys at all. We've been trying to teach her to share again while still being careful, but I told her it was okay for Mirabelle and some other favorites to remain off limits. Why do you still hang out with them? Mostly because they're not always SHT people. Nat's husband has a daughter from a previous relationship who is good friends with my older son, and Amy and Julie get along well most of the time. Nat is also not a bad person, unless it comes to Julie. Was Julie punished? Nat's husband mentioned he grounded Julie. He took her tablet for a few days. OP is voted NTA. Update post. 1 week later. I wasn't going to write an update, but I thought I'd let you know that I read your comments and decided to follow your advice. I still don't think Julie's actions were completely intentional. The nail polish she's used to is the kind that peels off, so I do believe she genuinely thought we could wash the doll later. Even if that's not the case, I wouldn't villainize a 6-year-old. Yes, I know children can be cruel, and I'm not saying Julie's too young to understand she was doing something wrong. I just don't think the reasons behind her actions were as vindictive as people are making them out to be. If I had to blame anyone, it would be Nat. Especially because not only did she protest against Julie apologizing to Amy, but she also never apologized herself. All that said, there are 2 pieces of advice from the comments on my previous post that I decided to follow. The first is that Nat and Julie are no longer welcome at our house. We're not cutting ties with them, as we usually all get along well. Also, we're immigrants, and they're some of the only relatives we have in this country. And that's not something we want to sacrifice right now. So from now on, we're only meeting them at their house, public spaces, and events we're not hosting. That might change in the future, either when Julie gets older, or if we ever sense a change in their behavior. My son's 9th birthday party is coming up, and we made it clear Nat and Julie aren't welcome. We did invite Nat's stepdaughter, her husband's child from a previous relationship, since she's friends with my son. Nat's not happy about this, but we don't care. The second piece of advice I'm following. During the weekend, my husband and I bought a big wooden box, which we'll leave in our closet. Whenever we have guests over, our kids can fill it with whatever toys they don't want to share. We all painted and decorated the box with stickers and ribbons on Sunday. As for the painted doll, Amy has seen Toy Story a few times. She didn't want to throw her original Mirabelle away or give her to someone else. We gave the doll a bath, and though we couldn't get the nail polish off, Amy decided to keep her. So now she has 2 dolls. Mirabelle given to her by Nat's husband and Crazyble, her older twin sister. Tea parties have been interesting lately. I think that's all. Amy is happy, and my family is doing great. Thanks everybody. Relevant comments. What about Mill? Mill still lives in our home country and was visiting us when this happened. She's already left, and we probably won't see her until July. Can you try alcohol to get rid of the nail polish? It would be too risky. One of the eyes and half of the lips are almost completely covered by the nail polish. And Amy has the new doll now, so there's no reason to try to make that work right now. If you ever wanted to, you could check with someone who professionally restores dolls. Crazyble is part of the family. I wouldn't dream of changing her. If Amy ever wants to, I'll do my research and see what I can do. Knowing my kid though, Crazyble will stay crazy. Sweet Amy. That's Amy for you. The part in Toy Story 3 that made her cry the most was the evil bear's backstory. She didn't want Crazyble to feel like she was being replaced. Thank you for watching the video.